Welcome back to the newsletter, and I'm going to start it off by standing on the sale rail here. There are some very good deals. You've got polo shirts, some light fleeces ready for this perfect time of the year, and some heavier fleeces, and maybe even some shorts. So grab a bargain while you can. Let's get straight into the newsletter and head straight over to Alex on the golf course.
Hello and welcome back on this crisp, cold morning at Harpenden Common Golf Club. We are back playing the 10th hole. We're starting the back nine. Let's talk through how I play this hole. Okay, so I've used my Bushnell and I've zapped the trees straight in front of me, which are around 190 yards. And I've also zapped the last tree on the right hand side, which is about 120 yards from the white tees here. Okay, now what that means is we've got to hit it past 120 yards and we've got 190 yards until we get blocked off by the trees straight forward. Okay, now I'm going to be using a 6-iron. I would normally use a 7-iron, but it's very, very cold this morning, and also, believe it or not, I know I'm on the 10th hole, but it's my first swing of the day. So I've gone upper club just to give myself a little bit of leeway. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim over the furthest left right-hand tree to then open myself up into the green. Now, I understand not everyone's going to be using a 6-iron and not everyone's got the ability to go up and over them trees. So if it was me, I would pick a club that makes sure we get it over 120 yards, and I would try and aim between the gaps of the trees down the bottom and the trees furthest on the right, okay, to then open ourselves up a shot. Now, it's a tricky hole, but that's the best way. If we go a little bit to the right, we'll hopefully get through the trees and we'll still get a shot in from the left-hand side to the green. Now, slightly pulley, hooky, whatever you want to call it, but because of my aiming on the tee box, which I've talked throughout the whole of this series, the aiming on my tee box give me leeway to hit bad shots and still be okay. Now, I've actually assessed the lie here and I've assessed the tree situation. I've got two options. I could go low or I could go high. Because the condition of the ball in the rough is actually in really good nick and I've got a good yardage, I've got 109 yards, I'm going to hit my sand wedge. I'm going to hit my sand wedge and I'm going to go over to give me the best opportunity of sticking it onto the green. But I could go low here, could put it back in my stance, reduce my swing speed and get it low. But because of the condition of the lie of the ball, I'm going to go over. Let's give this a shot. Hopefully it's better than my tee shot. Now, we've obviously got the bunker left, right, and there are a couple at the back. So I'm going to aim to the middle of the green here. Nice and easy swing. Give myself, hopefully, the best chance at par. Okay, not horrendous. As you can see, it landed somewhere over here and then rolled just down to this point here. It's not horrendous, we're quite close to the flag. Would have preferred to have been this distance the other side and I would have had a real good birdie opportunity, but we move. Now, the real difficulty with this one is obviously it's going to come uphill and then downhill, but the uphill has got a lot of dew as it's like 8:30 in the morning. So I'm going to really have to control the ball on the way up and then hopefully let it trickle down. It's a little bit right to left. Really, it's the difficult part is judging the dew of the fringe. And we've done a good job there. Stayed pretty straight, but we tap it in for par. What a fantastic way to start the back nine. Let's go.
I hope you all enjoyed seeing Alex back on the golf course. He did quite well. It'll be good to see how he gets on down the 11th in the next episode. Now, you join me over here in the shoe wall because we have got a shoe fitting day coming up on the 4th of November. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's actually something that I am quite excited about because FootJoy have a very special foot measuring device that will perfectly measure your feet because, believe it or not, a lot of people wear the wrong size shoes out on the golf course, which will affect how you play, but also how comfy your shoes are. So this fitting process measures your feet perfectly and will tell you what shoe in the FootJoy range fits your feet perfectly, depending on your arch, the width of your foot, and the way that you walk. Now, it might be that you need something firmer, like the Tour Alphas, or it might be that you need something with a bit more movement, like the Fuels. But definitely get yourself booked in. It's completely free, and I bet 95% of people will be very surprised with what size you are. So get yourselves booked in. Now, for the next part, let's go over to Mark on the other side of the shop.
With all the new winter stuff coming out, we have had a good delivery of some nice Harpen and Common clothing. Got a couple favourites of the new collection, and one of them being is this new 4th hybrid padded jumper. It's got a couple pockets there for all your belongings, and it has a nice fleece inside to keep you warm this winter. Secondly, it's this nice warm gilet. It's padded with all the heat gear inside. Keep your chest nice and warm this winter with plenty of pockets and repping the Harpen and Common badge. If you need to update your winter clothing, have a little think about having these new logo clothing in the shop.
Hello and welcome to the shop and the part of the shop that we have our brand new coffee machine. Coffee is available in the shop. We have 2 cup sizes. Let me just grab them for you. We have a regular, which is £1.50, and a large, which is £2.50. There's loads of options in the coffee machine. We've got black, we've got white, we've got latte, we've got cappuccino, we've got a mochaccino, we've got flat white, we've got a double black, we've got coffees, we've got hot chocolates. It's endless with this brand new machine. So come in, see me, and I'll get my little barista apron on and I'll serve you some coffee. Right, now going over to Lewis on the 9th hole.
You join me over on the 9th hole, and I want to quickly talk to you about bounces on your wedges. Over here, I've got the Jaws Raws wedges, the brand new ones, and in our bag here, we've got all the available grinds and bounces. So I want to quickly explain to you how much of a difference the grinds and bounces can make. So in my hand here, I've got a 60 degree, 8 degree of bounce Z grind, and a 60 degree 12 degrees W grind. Now the difference is here, the bounces are massively different. So you've got the 08 bounce, which is a very low bounce, and then you've got the 12, which is quite a high bounce. Now the advantages and disadvantages of both. Now typically with a lower grind in the bounce, so an 8 degree, you are going to dig into the ground a load more, and then with a 12 degree bounce, you're going to bounce off the ground more, and it's going to be a little bit more forgiving. Now, when we do a wedge fitting, we'll look exactly at what sort of bounces you need. Now, if you're someone that, with your wedge shots, you tend to dig in quite a lot and hit a lot of fat shots, we tend to up the bounce and give you a bit more bounce. So you are bouncing off the ground instead of digging in loads more, which will stop that fat shot. Now, if you're someone that bounces off the ground too much, hits a lot of fins, then we'll reduce the amount of bounce that you have to dig into the ground a bit more, so you get a purer strike and it will give you more spin. Now for me, my personal preference is I like a wedge with less bounce, because what that does is it helps this leading edge sit a little bit lower to the ground and helps me dig in a bit more, because when I play a higher bounce, I tend to bounce off the ground too much and hit a lot of fins. So I'm going to hit this shot here. We're going over the bunker to that flag there. So for me, I've got the 8 degree of bounce in my hand here, and I much prefer being able to dig in a little bit more, as it gives me that little bit more confidence that I'm not going to fat the shot. Quite good. Now for me, if I was to use the 12 degree bounce here, it doesn't give me as much confidence. I can see the bounce there, and yes, I can still play it off this lie here. That's worked quite nicely, but I know that when the ground gets a little bit firmer, the higher bounce is not the one for me. With your wedges, the lower degrees, so 50 degree, 52, 54, you probably want something a little bit lower because you're going to be hitting more full shots with it. Now, when it gets to the 60 degrees and 58 degrees, it's very individual, and that's why we go through them all in the fitting, because you might only like to use a 60 degree out of a bunker. And if you do like that, you'll want slightly higher bounce, because out of a bunker, the more bounce, the better. Helps kick the club up out the sand and get the ball following that club out of the sand. And it pops the ball up nice and high and makes it way more forgiving. Now, to help everyone out, we have decided to make all wedge fittings completely free. So we're now offering a free 30-minute session with myself. We start off in the tour shed, do a little gapping session to find the right degrees, and then we'll go out to the chipping green so we can finalise the different bounce options. Now, I would recommend anyone that looking at new wedges, really get yourself booked in for that, because you'll probably be surprised at the differences between all the different bounces, and you'll probably be surprised by the outcome of the session, but it will get you chipping more consistently and a lot better. So it's very, very important chipping, so make sure you get it right. Now, take advantage of the free session, and I hope to see you all very soon. Okay, so now that the brand new TSR 2 and 3 and 4 are now out, it does mean that the TSI 2s are on sale, along with some other stuff here, but X-Demo, so if you do want a cheaper driver, then the X-Demo TSI 2s and 3s are now available. Now we're going to head over to Rob Leonard and Darren Hawkins, the vice captain in the tour shed.
So we're here in this tour shed today with Darren Hawkins, who is vice captain this year, captain for next year. And we're just going to have a bit of fun. We're going to play the 5th hole as the nearest the pin at Pebble Beach, 135 yards. What you got, Darren?
Got 9-9.
See how it goes. Good luck. So a bit of fun, sneak to win, but we're going to be playing our Captain Pros next year, so we're looking forward to the challenges.
That is the end of the newsletter, but on a side note, winter stuff's now in, hats and winter mitts. Alex will swear by the Titleist ones for winter mitts. So if you do want a very nice pair of mitts, Alex will certainly recommend those. Now, let's see you in the next episode of the newsletter. Remember, if you want to see anything, let us know and we'll make sure to add it in on the next video. See you all soon.